Okay, now I want to tell you like a little story, something that kind of came up this week, and I thought that a lot of you will find this interesting, and it's a little bit of a call to action. I'm going to ask some of you to do something for me because there's a lot more to this podcast than just lawn care tips, and I think many of you are starting to get that. Sometimes I share philosophies in life, and I kind of relate things that way, and how relationship with your lawn can help relationships in other ways, and I think a lot of you get that. But there's also this underlying piece that lawn care is, and what lawn care is it's a therapy for a lot of people. It's an outlet. It's more than just a hobby. For me, it's obviously a passion. It's what I do for a living now. I'm a kind of guy that makes a living on his passion. I'm very fortunate that way, but there's a lot of ways that lawn care helps other people. Some of you just need thinking time. Some of you, instead of doing meditation, you mow your lawn. You put your ear protection on, which literally shuts out the rest of the world, almost being like a float tank. But instead of being completely silent, because I can't be alone with myself in silence, it's just not possible. I drive myself crazy. You have this beautiful sound of a nice moaning mower beneath you, and you even come to know the sound of your mower. Like I could definitely tell a Honda engine from the Toro, whatever the Toro is. Chinese made, wherever it's from. That's not like a knock on it, it's just what it is. But I can tell a Toro mower. I'm looking down at my Toro mowers here if you're watching on the YouTube. I can tell the sound of a Time Master, for example. Maybe it's the way it's tuned, but either way you get into that and you kind of get this rhythm. And some of you, that's just your meditation. That's just what you use. I'm definitely that way. But I've even had other stories. I've had one gentleman, another Florida lawn care nut, tell me that he quit smoking. He put his time into the lawn and he quit smoking that way. He lost his desire to smoke because he took that desire and he put it into turning his lawn green and manicuring his landscape and his lawn and that kind of thing. I thought that was interesting. I've also had several veterans over the years write in and say that they use lawn care as a way to relax and to kind of just get their mind off of whatever they've been dealing with from their military experience. And I've always found that interesting, but I never found a way to share it because I thought if I shared it, it might seem a little bit, I don't know, maybe I didn't want to take advantage of someone sharing that with me. I just wanted to let that be between us, and I thought that was always cool. But I got this email this week from a lady named Faye, and this was a little bit different of a request, and I actually fulfilled it. And it gave me an idea, and it reminded me of something from my childhood. Now, I don't know how many of you listening here grew up in the 80s, but if you grew up in the 80s, you definitely remember Casey Kasem on the radio, an American Top 40, which later became Casey's Top 40. But all through the 80s, it was either American Top 40 or what I call it now is Casey's American Top 40. If you don't know that, if you're somebody that's younger or you don't know who that is, I think Ryan Seacrest still runs American Top 40 even today. I'm sure it's completely different than it was back then. But one of the highlights for me, and American Top 40 always ran on Saturday mornings for me, and I tell you what, it was one of those things where we would listen to it, we, meaning my friends at school, we would listen on Saturdays. Now, we didn't have texting. We didn't have cell phones, any of that. We had Motel 6 dial phones. So you really didn't talk to most of your friends from school over the weekend. You just didn't. You didn't see them again until Monday. So the first thing we would talk about Monday morning was our bets on Friday on whose song was going to be number one, or we would bet on the top 5. What are the top 5 songs from the American Top 40? We'd bet on a Friday, and then on Saturday we'd hear it, and we would see each other on Monday, and we'd cash in on our bets of who was number one, Is it going to be Thriller this week? I can even remember a Weird Al Yankovic song called Eat It, which was a parody or a reaction song, is how you'd say it today, to Michael Jackson's hit Beat It. I remember Eat It by Weird Al Yankovic was number one for a while. So you would have these bets. It was something that everyone centered around, and that was really cool, and I loved American Top 40, and I loved Casey Kasem. That voice was soothing to me. That voice was part of my childhood, actually, the American Top 40 voice of Casey Kasem. It's one of the reasons I really love podcasts now is I think that we share that similar kind of relationship where the voice of the podcast becomes something that is relatable to you in your American life, hence the name Lawns Across America. But either way, one of those things that I loved about this segment was he would do different bits or things during the show and talk about music history and things. But one of my favorite parts was the long distance dedication. And what the long distance dedication was somebody would literally write in, or later it became they would fax in. Fax. I don't think anybody faxes anymore. But back then they would write into the show and they would have a story about someone or a relationship or a lost love or whatever it was a long distance dedication, and it was somebody telling a story to Casey about something in their life, and then they would request a certain song that would either bring light to the challenge they were having or something that they had used for comfort. Whatever the song was, it related to the story they told. Now, I'm not going to ask you guys to write in and ask for song requests because we're not going there. But what I am going to do is ask you to write in and tell me your stories of how lawn care or tending for your lawn has been a positive in your life. It could be something personal, or you could be, in this case, you could be the spouse or the significant other who sees what it's done for your mate. And so what I want to do is, before I go any further, is I want to share this with you. So Faye, and her mate's name is Daniel, she gave me permission to share this with you guys because I told her what I was going to do after she wrote in, and she thought it'd be awesome. She loved the idea. So here is what Faye's request was, and how I honored, and then how I followed through with it, to give you guys an idea of how I want to try to get these requests going for the future for you. Hope I'm coming across there. So let me just read this right here. So this was in an email. Dear Alan, my name is Faye, and I have a request. My significant other Daniel has begun watching your channel religiously. He has brought 3 dead lawns back to life thanks to your videos and advice. Daniel's birthday is coming up very soon, and I was wondering if you would absolutely blow his mind and give him a message from me and you on your next YouTube video and tell him what an awesome job he's done on these lawns. It would be the most meaningful to us both. He doesn't know I'm asking, so if it's yes, please read this message to him from me. And so I'm going to play now. So this was a message that Faye sent. She asked me to read this message from her to Daniel. And so here it is. Dear Daniel, you've brought 3 scalped dead lawns back to life, just as you brought some of my dreams back to life. I know the lush green lawn is your love note to me. This is but a small thank you and a love note in return. Happy birthday, my special prince. With love, Faye. So just think about that. Now, I have some more context for you because I emailed back with Faye a couple times after this, but just think about that. Faye realizes that Daniel has found some purpose in the lawn, that he's rehabbing 3 lawns now, not just his own, but 3. He's like found some purpose. He's found some sort of something that he is using this rehabbing of these lawns, or these caring or tending for these lawns. He's using that to enrich his life, and she knows it. She can see it, and she can see how he uses that to express to her. And I mean, that's a beautiful thing right there. That's cool, right? So I emailed back and I asked her a couple more questions, and this is what she said. You know, Daniel's in his 40s, and it's been a long time since he's felt successful or important until he started tending lawns. She says, I'm 35. I'm facing lots of medical problems. I'm overcoming childhood trauma, just like Daniel is. And this is all a huge encouragement and light to us. So just see that. These are some folks that are together, and they've both had some challenges in their life. It seems like some really tough ones. And then they also have some current challenges, and they're just going through it. But here's Daniel, man. He's working on these lawns as a way to kind of level set himself in a way. And that's about as much as I know, but you can get it, right? I know you can. So here's the challenge to you guys, or no, it's not a challenge. It's my ask, because this is going to help so many other people. I know it is. It's going to be something super cool that a lot of you are going to get something out of. What I want you to do is write in. Now I'm going to ask you to write in. No fax, no phone, no email, because I think writing is an important piece of this. I think writing it out is an important piece of whatever you're getting from it. And write into me and tell me your story. And if I can, I'll start reading those on the podcast. So you're going to mail them to my P.O. Box, which is 8955 U.S. Highway 301 North, number 206. 8955 U.S. Highway 301 North, number 206. That's Parrish, Florida, P-A-R-R-I-S-H, Parrish, Florida, 34219. 8955 U.S. Highway 301 North, number 206, Parrish, Florida, 34219. If you write in, it doesn't, now again, I don't necessarily think it has to be a dedication. It can just be about you telling me how you've used lawn care to improve your life, or how someone in your life has used lawn care to improve their life or yours, this and this and that. You guys get the idea. I think that'd be a super cool segment to start sharing on the podcasts as we move forward, and I think that would really help a lot of people. And I would really like to thank Faye and Daniel for allowing me to share your story. First of all, Faye, for writing in with this idea And I really hope, Daniel, that it was an encouragement to you. And I hope that it will be an encouragement to the two of you as you go forward, that you know that your idea, that what you sparked, Faye, is going to help a lot of other people. And it's going to be able to share these same types of stories with a lot of other people. And I think that's like a pay it forward kind of thing. I think that's like a karma kind of thing. That's like being a blessing to other people kind of thing. However you want to say it. Faye and Daniel, I hope that you'll see that, and I hope that that will become this, and that a lot of you will get a lot out of it. And so with that, as always, we're going to hope for the best.